What's up, listeners? It's David Ramsey, and I'm here on this Sunday morning to talk about John Knowles. Get ready for this episode of Author's Reviews. This podcast is brought to you by procrastination. You have the whole weekend to do it, but you know you're doing it on Sunday. Procrastination. Welcome back, guys. As I said earlier, we're talking about John Knowles today. John Knowles was born September 16th, 1926, in Fairmont, West Virginia. He's an American author, most famous for his first novel, A Separate Peace. He grew up in the heart of mining country in West Virginia, but at 15 years old, he was admitted into Phillips Exeter Academy, which was this prestigious boarding school that was all the way up in New Hampshire. He felt pretty out of place when he first joined this school because it was full of Yankees, and he was from West Virginia, which was quite far from, you know, the Northeast, and the culture was a lot different. His grades weren't too hot when he joined the school, and he thought he was actually going to flunk out. But after he really focused on his studies and he tapped into his mental capabilities, not only as a writer, but just he found his own way to study. He was able to pass his classes. All of this school was kind of interrupted, though, when the U.S. went into World War II. He not only was he declared for the draft, but he enlisted in the Air Force during this time. After the war, and after he served his time in the Air Force, he went back to school and studied at Yale. He graduated from Yale and he became this freelance writer as well as an associate editor at this travel magazine. Well, while he was doing these jobs, he was working on his first novel, A Separate Peace. And after he published that in 1959 in England, and then he published it in 1960 in the U.S., he blew up. He became really successful. So successful, actually, that he quit his job and he focused on solely being a writer. He wrote many books after A Separate Peace, but none of them were nearly as successful as his debut novel. He's quoted on being quite okay with this, and he lived a normal life as a writer for the majority of his life. He became ill at 75, and he died in 2001. Knowing about John's life really helps you get a good understanding of his first novel, A Separate Peace, as a whole. A Separate Peace has to do with the crucial decision a group of teens have to make, which is choosing between enlisting or waiting to be drafted during World War II. A lot of this book was written using past experiences from John's life. Maybe this is why the book is so critically acclaimed. John was able to make it realistic because he was using his past thoughts and emotions and just giving them to the characters. There's four main characters in the book, and John said that he didn't model just one character after himself. All four characters had different parts of him, and his life just sewed into them. With a good understanding of John Knowles' life, a reader, like me or you, can understand the book and the meaning behind it much better. This book has many really important themes and symbols that are just scattered throughout it. I think the most important symbol of this novel is the summer and winter sessions at the school that the main characters attend. The summer session is free and happy, and they're still pretty much children and they're having a good time. And then the winter session is dark and the work is difficult, and it really describes the differences of life before and after, or no, before and during World War II. And before they like actually still have innocence and they're having fun, and then during the war they're all tense and they're like adults. And I believe that the most important theme is the war within oneself. This book takes place during World War II, yet it has nothing to do with the physical war. It has more to do with the characters' war within their own mind and the loss of childhood innocence due to this war. Well, that's pretty much it today on John Knowles. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.